Alright, today we're going to show you guys a neat little way to make drift weights for side drifting for steelhead. You can also use it for drift fishing from the bank. We're using hollow core lead. This is 3/16. It's a good size for a lot of different conditions, and it's kind of a cool little way to do it where we use mono as well, and I'll explain how that works when we rig up for side drifting. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut the length of lead that you want to use depending on the current speed and depth. Most of the time in the winter we use about a 1-inch piece, sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger. So I'm using some little crimp or little pliers here, or cutters, and I'm just going to cut a little bit here and there and wiggle it. And that creates your little weight. You want to, kind of takes a little bit of practice, but you want to get it to where it stays hollow. That way you don't have to go through and poke holes in it. Now the next step, what you probably want to do is, depending on how many weights, you want to go through and cut, a bunch in a certain length ahead of time, and then you can cut a bunch smaller or longer so you have a whole collection when you go out fishing. The next step do is cut off a small piece of mono. This is just some 10-pound, and we're going to create a little loop in it like that, and we're going to stick both ends down into the hollow opening of the lead, and we'll take our pliers and we're going to crimp it pretty tight, and just like that you've got a little side drifting piece of lead. Now what this mono allows you to do is attach it with a snap swivel onto your rig when you're side drifting or drift fishing, and when you get hung up here, all you have to do is pull on it, and what happens is the mono slides out like that. You lose your lead, but you get your whole rig back. And since we started fishing this way, you very rarely have to retie your main line. So that's a really good way to do it when you're side drifting or drift fishing for steelhead.